first guest tonight is a great actor on a great show who's been dodging questions about finger traps and waffle parties all year long. The season 2 finale of Severance just came out tonight on Apple TV.
Right, okay.
Mark, I know this is a lot, man. But if we can prove that she is alive, if we can prove that they kidnapped her, it will end them.
Well, what happens to us?
Please welcome Mark S. himself, Adam Scott. Well, first of all, congratulations on a fantastic season. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
The finale.
Thanks, man.
I intentionally didn't watch the finale before you came out, even though I could have. I was telling the audience how unselfish an act that was. And
That's incredible. Can we have a round of applause for Jim? You know, we were just talking backstage that this is my 15th time coming on the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
You think you should have a prize or something? Or?
Yeah. Where's my prize? Are those for me, those glasses?
They are.
Oh.
Yes, you can read with them. You can read now?
No, I don't know how.
Well, wait till you put these on.
Okay.
Back to you and this show. Are you happy with the finale?
Yeah, I can't wait for people to see it because I've been watching it for, I mean, we shot it a while ago. You know, it took 3 years for season 2 to come out. So
you shot this in 2011, right?
Yeah, we shot this in 2011. I did not have a beard yet when we shot this.
You weren't even able to grow a beard yet.
I didn't know what a beard was.
And now it has to be a bit of a relief to not have to keep things secret and to not be pestered all the time.
It is. I don't. Yeah, because now it's all out there, and the finale answers some questions, and so everyone will be happy.
You guys are good about answering questions, I think. You know what?
Yeah.
People want some answers to some questions, and you give answers to the questions.
Yeah, that's our job, right? Isn't that what actors and creatives
Not always. Not always.
Answer questions.
Sometimes it's like, well, you figure it out for yourself.
That's true.
You know, it can be frustrating for us. But then I watched the clip, which I've just now seen for the first time.
Yeah.
And the idea that you could end Lumen.
Right.
On one hand, we're rooting for you to end Lumen. On the other hand, the show's over. And otherwise, it's just, you know, you kind of making lunch in the house.
Right. You don't want to see that show,
No,
right?
we don't want that.
We want Lumen to be around just for one reason or another.
We're rooting for Lumen.
Yeah, now you're rooting
way.
for the bad guys.
And I love this idea of the innies and the outies. I wish I could have that for myself so I didn't have to look at the news when I go home. You know, it would be pretty great, I think.
Your innie could deal with J.D. Vance, and then your outie doesn't even have to know he exists.
Have you, at any point during the couple of years that you've been keeping the events on the show secret, have you accidentally revealed anything to anyone?
Well, I have to sometimes because, like 2 years ago, I had to tell my wife, I had to tell Naomi just some of it because there were some really juicy details, and I knew I would have to keep them secret for 2 or 3 years. And so I had to tell her, like, about Helena being undercover as Helly early in season 2. I just had to tell someone because it was so juicy, and she didn't want to hear it, but I was just like, it's going to be like 2 years. You're going to forget. It doesn't matter.
Did she
so
forget?
I told her, no, she didn't forget.
What?
She was bummed.
Yeah, of course she didn't forget.
Right, of course not. But we also, like, I have Zooms that have to be on with, like, Ben and Dan, all the creatives on the show. And my family doesn't want to hear anything. So I have to, like, go into a closet, literally, and do, like, work
so your
meetings.
kids are involved and invested in the show.
The kids don't want to hear anything because it's actually the first thing I've been a part of that they're interested in.
Oh. And what do they, like, when Dad's, like, in the sleeping bag on top of another woman, do they...
They love it.
They love that, yeah.
Love it.
Because my kids don't even want to see us kiss, you know?
Yeah.
And
no, they think it's disgusting.
yeah, they think it's
really
disgusting. Okay. Now, you've caused quite a sensation, really, all around the world. Last weekend at the LA Marathon, somebody was holding up a sign that I think is pretty great. You should have made your innie do this.
Yeah, running a marathon, why would you do that?
It makes perfect sense. And there's a lot of fan art. You posted a bunch of it on your Instagram this week.
There's so much, and it's incredible that the fans are
Now, this is
are this engaged.
This is looks like animation from the 70s or something like that.
That's right.
But it's a scene, if you haven't seen the show, involving goats. Did you ever imagine there'd be goats in this show when you started it?
You know what? I was hoping there would be goats in the show, and it was just the happiest of coincidences.
This is a group drawing of you and that one really makes you look. It's very flattering for all of you.
Actually, everyone looks pretty good, but what's going on with me?
Well, I don't think Helly looks great in this. Yeah, you and Helly didn't got this right.
I think
love this one.
This is by far my favorite.
This is a good one. Yeah. And then finally we have, well, maybe not. Yeah. It's kind of an E.T. type thing going there.
That's the most realistic.
And it's flattering, though, right?
Very much. No, it is.
Not at all. But
well, it depends on. It's all in the eye of the beholder.
You know, people are talking about your flashback scene. Mark S is your innie, and then your outie is Mark Scout.
Right.
Which it's weird that they picked a last name that's almost exactly your actual last name.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just one. In fact, they're just one letter off.
Same number of syllables. One.
Yeah.
Same first two letters. Same last letter. It's just off by a couple of degrees.
It's just slightly off, but I guess they don't care about that.
No, they don't care about
Nobody ran that by you, but people are saying how hot you look in the flashbacks, which is funny because they're not actually flashbacks. You're the same age. In fact, you might even be older in the flashbacks.
Literally, all I did was get a haircut.
Okay.
That's it.
This is the way them saying, I like your haircut.
Yeah, and it goes to show just how terrible my haircut is as Mark S, I guess.
Are you wearing a wig as Mark S?
No, that's my hair. That's all Ben Stiller. He loves that hairdo. He kind of came up with it.
Ben comes in and does your hair?
From the very beginning of the show, he had a very specific idea of what my hair should look like.
Really?
And that's what it is.
Wow, his attention to detail might be a mental illness.
Well, it certainly is exacting.
Last week, Helena, not Helly, but Helena, her Audi, cut a boiled egg into 6 or 8 pieces, and then she put it on the plate, and then she took a knife and fork, and in front of her father, who's a weirdo, just sat there and ate the smallest pieces of the egg.
Yeah. Didn't she just eat the white?
Just the white parts, yeah. And I don't know if that was a calorie thing or maybe it's... Did you know how expensive eggs would be?
Yeah.
2 years ago? Is that what happened there?
This goes to show we spare no expense on
Is that something that is addressed in the finale?
Yeah.
It is?
It's all, I'm not going to give it away.
Okay.
Everything points towards that particular egg that Helena was cutting.
Wow, we're learning a lot tonight. Adam
That's right.
Scott is here. The season 2 finale of Severance is on Apple TV Plus. We'll be right back. We're here with Adam Scott. You know, as you know, fans will pay maybe closer attention to the show than some of the people making the show.
That's right.
They will draw connections between things that don't necessarily have connections.
Sure.
For instance, your character on Parks and Rec, they've connected to your character on Severance.
Yes.
And you know about this?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, they say, there are clues there in things that you said to Leslie on the show that somehow apply to Severance.
That's right, and it actually is pretty close. The thing that my character was sort of pitching to Leslie does sound sort of like Severance.
But that is a coincidence.
Yes.
The first, I think, movie you ever did, and correct me if I have this wrong, you had a microchip in your head.
Yes, the first TV the first job I ever got acting. Yes.
Microchip in the head.
That's right.
Like Severance.
Isn't that weird?
Also a coincidence.
Yeah.
The fact that we have a clip from that,
No, you do
is
not.
that a coincidence or
Do you really?
no? We do.
From Dead at 21?
Dead at 21 is the name of the show. You want to tell us a little? Would you like to set it up?
Well, wow, really?
Yeah.
Dead at 21 was MTV's first scripted show, I believe, in 1994. Am I right about this?
I take your word for it.
Yes, I was in the pilot. Had a guest starring role on the pilot, and it was the first acting job I ever got, and I thought I was going to be an enormous star. after
Really?
this.
That was.
Oh,
that
100%.
was it?
Yeah.
And do you recall the part you played?
I played Dan, I think, but I had a microchip in my brain. But the whole premise of the show, was there's a certain amount of teenagers that get microchips implanted in their brains that turns them into like hyper-intelligent super soldiers. But then on the day they turn 21, the microchip explodes in their brain and they die. And so I'm going to warn the lead of the show, played by Jack Noseworthy, that he's next, and I'm about to turn 21, and my head's gonna explode.
And we happen to have that.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, great.
You will die! Oh my God! Take it easy!
Wow. You got to work that into the Severance somehow.
Wow, that is so weird. I don't think I've seen that for like 20 years.
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
Have the kids seen it?
Well, they have now.
They're gonna love it. Yeah. When you get in an elevator now, did people say things to you about
Sometimes.
that? Yeah.
Sometimes it kind of veers from like, hey, listen, I'm not going to say anything about being in an elevator and like Severance, but it's kind of cool that you're in an elevator right now. And then sometimes it's like, hey, man, are you going to sever? Like, what's going on? Are you going to turn into someone else? And then some people don't recognize me, and therefore they don't say anything. They're just in an elevator.
Hey, who's Irving calling on the payphone?
That's a good question.
Do we find that out?
That's a good question. You saying, do we find that out, is a very good question.
Oh, so do we find that out is not a yes or no answer, or it's just one you can't give?
As far as questions go, it's one of the very good ones.
Okay. You know what? I don't understand the compliment, but I'll take it.
I'm just here to judge questions.
Well, it's great to have you here. The show is
Thanks,
so
man.
good. Watch the season 2 finale of Severance on Apple TV Plus right now. Adam Scott, everybody. We'll be back with Senator Adam Schiff. Guillermo, do you know how many subscribers we have on YouTube now?
20 million.
That's right. Yeah, that's why we're wearing these glasses. Thanks for being a subscriber. If you're not, help us get to 20,000,001.